Prescott, and you have just repeatedly told me he's the best quarterback in the NFC East. He wasn't yesterday.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. Because Dak did have a 62 QBR to Carson Wentz's 53. So let's just start right there. Dak slightly outplayed. I'll just give you slightly outplayed Carson Wentz. That's the big picture.
Okay.
Now back to your other points, which were all valid points, actually Hall of Fame points, which is rare from you because you don't usually back up your credentials. There's no but coming.
Okay.
The truth is, back to Holly's question, how impressed was I? Not that impressed. That's what's shocking to me. This team just wears me out. I was on the floor at the end of the game. I'm sweating. I'm hyperventilating. I'm hoarse from screaming at the TV, especially at my number 4 quarterback. And yet, and still, when I picked myself up off the floor, I realized they have now won 5 straight games, and they have a 2-game lead over the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC East with 3 to play. And that is wildly impressive, right? You cannot take that away.
Oh, yeah.
And yet, I look at these numbers, to your point, these are domination numbers. These are blowout numbers. If I just read these numbers to you, and you didn't know the outcome of the game, and I told you, yardage 576 to 256, you'd say, ah. First downs 32 to 60. Oh, third down 10 of 19 plus a big 4th down conversion to 1 of 9. Really? Time of possession. Think about this. 45 minutes to 23 minutes. That's pathetic. That's a beat down.
Yeah.
That's a rout.
That's 20 points. That's 17 to 20 point margin of victory all day.
And guess what, boys and girls? It went to overtime. And it actually, in the end, took a lucky bounce for me to win it. Because Rasul Douglas did get his hand in on the throw. He actually covered it big time great.
He didn't fully commit, Skip.
Okay, but he stopped. It was a slant. And again, Amari Cooper said after the game, he got me. I tried to deke him a little bit, like with the fade.
Tried to open him up,
Nope, but then I continued on with the slant. Dak's got a rusher right in his face. And Dak flipped it a little behind him on purpose, where he could kind of stop and try to catch it. But Rasul gets his hand on the ball. And if it tips a little left, maybe far right, but if it tips back a little left, maybe we're having a different conversation. Maybe they go the other direction. See it tips straight up. Rasul loses it, and it's magic. It falls right in Amari's lap, and he's like, oh, there's nobody left. I'm going to score.
The question I have for you, Skip, let's just say for the sake of argument that pass is incomplete. Do you believe Dallas goes for it again on 4th down, or do they kick the field goal?
I'm pretty sure they would kick the field goal at that time because I didn't want them to go for it the first time on 4th down because I thought you just got to kick the field. You just gotten stonewalled on 3rd down.
Because they scored that touchdown with 8:05, so there's only 10 minutes in overtime. It's not the full 15 like a normal quarter. So I believe you're right. I believe they kicked the field goal and says there's no way the Eagles are going to be able to go down the field and get a touchdown.
Correct. So now to your biggest picture point, I would like to thank God above today for Amari Cooper. And I'll be the first to admit publicly, before the trade was made, we talked about the possibility, and I was skeptical.
Yes.
He dropped way too many balls in Oakland.
Yeah.
But now he is happy in Dallas, and I'm happy in L.A. because he's happy in Dallas, because he's making me happier and happier. And by the way, Jerry Jones has gone from being ridiculed for this trade to being an Executive of the Year candidate for pulling it off. And I tweeted this at the end of the game, and this is from my heart. He has been worth 2 first-round picks, and I'm being serious about that. What his impact has been on this football team, especially if they have a potential to make a deep playoff run in the NFC.
Right.
I don't know the way it's going right now. New Orleans is in the driver's seat, but New Orleans doesn't really look like New Orleans. So is it possible Dallas would get hotter and hotter and start cleaning up their act and start having some big dominating wins? It's possible, and that's all due to Amari Cooper.
Right.
Since he joined the team, he leads the NFL in yards. He does?
Right. Really?
And yesterday, he made Dak Prescott look a lot better than Dak deserved to look.
First 3 quarters, Zach was 25 of 34, 212, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. 4th quarter in overtime, 17 of 20, 243, 3 TDs. What he can do, Skip, is that a lot of guys, we've seen guys catch the ball, and wherever they catch the ball, that's where they are. Amari Cooper, he's going to make a guy miss and he can hit his head on the goalpost. You saw that on the 75-yarder. You saw that on some short catches, Skip. He was getting yards after the catch, and this is what makes him spectacular. Do you absolutely need a number 1 in order to go to and win a Super Bowl? Probably not. But unless you have one of these elite quarterbacks, unless you have a Brady or a Rodgers or a Manning, Skip, this guy, you call a play, and you don't have to pick, you don't have to rub, you don't have to hope someone blows a coverage in order for him to get the ball.
Yep.
He can go get open. And if you watch him, you watch how patient he is, and that's the number one thing a receiver needs to have in order to be successful. He needs to be patient. He needs to be able to trust his ability. And he knew, even though the guy lined up, Douglas lined up inside, Douglas knows it's zero coverage, which means the middle of the field is vacated. They're coming what we call a bomb blitz. They're emptying the chamber.
Which play you're talking about?
The last play of the game.
Okay.
Skip, here's the thing. Now, in a situation like this, bomb blitz, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, whatever the down and distance was, they're running 2 routes. They're running a slant or they're running a go. Because if they double move me, if they hit me with the double move, I'm saying, Coach, the D-line didn't get there. You got to hit him in his mouth. Because by the time he does this and reset, Fletcher Cox should hit him right here on his chin. Okay, so if they double move me, that's the blitzer's fault. I'm playing for the slant. Where he made the mistake, Skip, he didn't fully commit. Because if you look at it, he put his left hand, but he had his right hand just in case. You got to commit to that.
He's along with the best receiver on the field, though. He still played it great.
No.
I don't care what you say.
Skip, I'm not backpedaling.
Yeah.
I'm lining up 7 yards off. I'm a yard inside.
He's Rasul Douglas.
I don't care. Trust what you've seen on tape.
Rasul Douglas.
What have you seen on tape?
Come on. I give him a huge break here.
I got a 50-50 chance, Skip. They're going to run a slant or they're going to run a go. In the situation, what's the easier of the throws? The go route or the slant route? They're going to take the easier of the two. I'm jumping that.
So, back to my quarterback, who wears me out, which is why I take the jersey off, and I put it back on, and I take it off, and I start to take it off, and then I put it back on. And yesterday, he did some really, really bad things, and he ended up doing some really, really good things. And if I may detail, he threw 2 interceptions in the game. The first one wasn't so bad because Rasul Douglas had played the game of his life. He was playing zone, and he backed off. He came running out of his zone to snag it at the end.
That was a great play.
Yeah, it was a great play. The second one was just wild high to Michael Gallup. I have no idea. It looked like a Carson Wentz special to me. And the sack fumble is just unconscionable, and you have talked about it. You said it last week. I don't know if his hands are small, but he just does not protect the football under duress, and he lost another one. Then he missed little measly Beasley on a little 5-yard flip in the end zone. That cost him four points, you know, because it was a tough throw because he was covered, but he threw it like 6 inches too far.
Right.
And then he's got Amari with 58 seconds left. This one nearly stopped my heart and took 7 years off my life. But he had Amari wide open, 5 yards free for the game breaker. It's iced. It's over. And he overthrows him by 5 yards. Yeah. You just can't. This is the play. If you're that team and that guy, you have to make that throw to win that game. Because this was for all the marbles. And I am sprawled on the floor because you can't, because you have given them life and then more life. So despite all these blowout stats, you gave them another life, and you nearly took mine away from me.
Because, Skip, if I'm on the opposing team and I see him keep missing these throws, as bad as we're playing, I'm like, hey, he giving us every opportunity to hang here. And Dak had 455. He should have had 600 yards passing. Skip, how many times did he miss Gallup deep? And if he could ever hit Gallup consistently, because for whatever reason, Gallup finds himself behind the defenders more times than not on deep throws. If Dak can hit one of those, because he's there like 3 to 4 times a game, if he can hit one of those consistently a game, Skip, that's going to be huge. That could have easily been over 500 yards with the deep balls.
And just when I thought I could trust my defense to be the best defense in pro football, they suffocated Carson Wentz for 3 quarters. And what happened in the 4th quarter? I don't know. Because Carson Wentz and company started to really move the football like crazy in money time. They scored 17 points in the 4th quarter. No good. Won't work.
Not against the top defense. You can't allow that to happen. Not in your building.
Nope. You can't allow. That's a bad sign for making a deep playoff run.
Correct.
Which brings me back to my quarterback. For Holly's sake, since she knows golf, I'm going to give you a golf analogy. Tiger Woods cannot drive the ball, but Dak Prescott can really drive the ball because that's what he does best. Tiger Woods is way left, way right. You never know where it's going. But Dak Prescott is right down the middle every time they drive the football.